It's mostly like Spanish shipwrecks when Spain was out there just taking all the Indians' money and killing them and leaving.
Oh, I didn't know they did that.
Oh yeah, you never heard that about Spain?
No,
That was Spain's
please go on.
shit, buddy. They love.
Is that why it's fine to be racist towards them?
I mean,
you can't be racist towards Mexican, but Spanish people, it's like you can do Antonio Banderas. Hey,
yeah, we talked about that. I mean, my stance on that is like Spanish people,
they're white,
still white, so you can go in on them,
right?
But the only reason Mexicans are associated with Spain is because Spain came and took all their gold and killed all their
gave
kings
them their language.
And then fucked.
What did they speak before that?
Indian.
Oh, that's true. They did speak Indian.
They spoke Aztec. What's up, Airheads? We're back.
Hi.
Hey, there's Corey. That's the show. Producer Russ is over there. I'm Trae. We're trying to hit. We just had some pizza from Fernanda's New York Pizza in Studio City. Shout out to them. Goddamn, it was good.
The best.
Tried to tell y'all, man. I told y'all before we got it. I said it's floppy, it's greasy, it's what's up.
Well, I knew.
Yeah, you knew. You've had it before.
I mean, again, we're not sponsored by them, but I wish that we would be. But like for everybody in the Burbank / Studio City arena or whatever, you gotta go to Fernanda's. It is 100% the best. It's floppy but crispy. The cheese is wonderful. The meat is tremendous, and the meatballs are literally, I mean, not to bring back the last episode we did, but out of this world, if I may. Every slice is like 2 slices.
I like crust. For me, crust has always been
what do it.
Now, see, I'm going to say the opposite. Well, I'm not going to say the opposite because, like, when the crust, I need the crust to be right. But for me, the crust being right is like the crust is a delivery mechanism.
Agreed.
For the topping. So, like,
okay.
When the crust is too, like, I want the crust to hold up, but not be that much and just get the rest of the shit into my stupid fat mouth.
I agree with you, but the crust
want.
is often the difference between a good pizza and a great pizza. Because if your cheese and your meats and your sauce are both the same on 2 pieces of pizza, but one person has a good, crispy, nice, doughy tasting crust, you're going to rank them higher. So, like, to me, I agree with you. The cheese, the sauce, the meat are the most important parts, but the difference between a place that has the exact same things in line and one has a better crust, you're going to notice it immediately.
Absolutely. So, this is the first episode of 2023.
No shit.
That's right. Yeah.
Hey, here we go, guys. This podcast has been going a calendar year.
Almost, not quite. Had a great Christmas and New Year's.
Pretty
Got
good.
All kinds of presents I love.
What if I'm dead?
And things hit. That would be wild. That's wild. We never thought about that. We do this show from the past.
I could be dead.
So, like, the 3 of us could be dead.
And by the way, put it the fuck out.
Oh, well,
put it out and let me say all this shit.
We're not going to not put it out.
Yeah, put it out.
We know that's what you would want.
Of course it's what I would want.
That is literally what you would want, right?
Of course
it is. If you die between now and the time it's time to put this out, you want it put out.
The last thing I would want to do is fuck over my business partners and my friends. Like, put it out. Not only put it out, like, hype it the fuck up.
Do you want, well, yeah, I was going to ask, would you want us to, like, make a preamble before the episode, like,
but be funny about it?
Yeah. You,
okay.
All right.
Oh yeah. But I mean, like, you know, a lot of people, like, when someone dies, like, you'll see this on the internet a lot. When someone dies, there'll be like someone that had done a podcast with this person, they will put it out and be like, rest in peace, so-and-so. We actually did a podcast together 3 years ago. Here's the episode. And some people are just like, that's fucked up that you're using their death as a way to promote your podcast. I want everyone to do that shit. Like, if I've ever done anything for you, when I die, put that shit the fuck out and make it a big deal. You know what I mean? Like, don't be like, we're so sorry that Corey. Be like, yo, this motherfucker dead as shit.
Can we have you taxidermy?
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, and just put me here? Like, have me taxidermy and just put me here and you just do the show by yourself? I'm for that, yeah.
Me, then back to you, then back to me. I do your voice the whole time. I don't know if you remember from the taxidermy episode, but evidently that's exceedingly difficult to do.
To make stuff me?
Yeah. Not just you, but
a lot
human.
of stuff.
Because, again, of course, humans tried to stuff other humans
Yeah,
over
right.
and over again, but apparently that's really fucking hard.
And why?
I don't know, because the way I knew.
Oh
why,
my God.
I knew why at the time, but like, yeah, now it don't hit. Look at that. None of that hits. God damn.
But like they make a beaver look like a beaver
I feel
because
like
our skin translucent.
I was about to say I feel like the fur and shit makes that easier to pull
right.
off
You can just put a
than
carpet on
our
it.
skin, but our skin it don't hit for being stuffed. You know, look at that. That ain't it.
Is that
I mean, he's kind of hitting.
that's Weekend at Bernie's? No, but I want you to like when I die. I want everybody to take every possible advantage that they can.
But it's like, but see, I always thought, and that we're dipping back into the taxidermy episode now, but I always felt like, I always thought that taxidermy was just like you take a corpse,
Right.
you pull everything out of it, and you shove a bunch of newspaper in there or whatever.
Right.
But
Straw, whatever.
Yeah, but evidently it don't be like that.
Right.
You got to like reconstruct the whole thing.
Well,
You know
like
what I mean?
because
So,
you're
like-
because your flesh or you're like
Because to me, stuffing
Your
you
muscles
seems
start-
simple enough.
right,
you
your
know,
muscles
but-
start to deteriorate. So
Right.
like you've got to get something in there to
Atrophy.
plump it up.
Right, yeah, exactly.
But like just use like I don't know, like that rubber shit that they used to make dolls, like just
Mhm.
put that in there
Right.
and then have me sitting here and then yeah, you just be like can I do an impression of you doing me, doing you?
I would love for you to do that.
Okay. So be like, hey, what's going on, Airheads? What's going on? My name's Trae Crowder. As you know, I sound like Dr. Phil with a sinus infection. All right. And over here, we got Professor CHO. Professor CHO, are you excited to be doing this episode? I'll tell you what, alien, goddamn, some bitch. Back to you, Trae. All right. That was Professor CHO. Lord, he sure is dead.
Yeah.
All right. So that's how that would go.
Yeah, I think that's exactly how that would go. Yeah.
We're very Terrence and Philippi in the sense that we'll fart.
So on this, the first edition of the 2023 version of Putting on Airs, I'm going to be talking about the Venn diagram where things overlap, rich and trash. Designer clothes. You might think poor people don't fuck with designer shit, but you're wrong.
Inaccurate.
You're thinking about it incorrectly, which we'll explain later. And then I've completely forgotten what's Professor CHO about.
I thought it would be nice since you're
I
talking
remember
about
now.
designer clothes for me to talk about another thing that kind of overlaps between rich people and fancy people, and that is eggs.
Eggs
except
hit.
for these are Faberge eggs.
Faberge.
Yeah. Faberge eggs.
Faberge eggs.
Yeah, we're
They
talking
really
about-
did. I don't know who.
You kind of have a
Faberge-
Faberge egg jacket on here.
Yeah, you wore it already. Ripped the sleeves out of. Well, you know, you
Ripped the
flexed
back
it.
out.
You flexed in it. Ripped the back out.
was hitting
but y'all
too
can't
hard.
tell that from the front. Yeah, they really. Old man Faberge, he really did something with them eggs.
He sure did.
He really struck a chord.
Yeah,
I didn't know you could make eggs hit that hard.
I
but
did
like-
not either.
Well, I mean, outside of food.
Denny's,
Food,
yeah.
right. I
Right.
know you can make eggs hit very hard. Matter
It's
of fact, dude,
often-
eggs is wild.
It's often the egg that do it. Wait,
it is the egg.
hold
that
on,
do
Trae.
it.
Hold
Eggs
on, Trae.
make so many things hit so much harder.
can I for a second ask you something? And I'm almost begging you. When we talk about Faberge eggs, can we also just talk about eggs?
Yeah.
Can we do like can we do like a double? Like, can I
Uh-huh.
do a Venn diagram thing too?
Yeah.
Of Faberge eggs and just regular eggs?
We can do whatever you want to, baby.
Okay, because I have not prepared it, but I have a feeling that me and you are very qualified to just talk about eggs.
So it is Faberge. I thought it was Faberge.
No, Faberge.
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 Faberge is what.
Yeah, Faberge.
All right.
But we're going to talk about
Before-
regular eggs too, right?
Of course, I
Okay,
can't
hits.
wait. Before we get to all that, I had something occur to me. I said on a recent episode, I was talking about people collecting shit, and all the rich people shit, the things they collect was literally treasure,
Mm-hmm.
you know, precious
Gold.
metals, gems, things of that nature. And it's like literally the type of shit you'd find in a pharaoh's tomb.
Yeah.
Which is wild. It's wild to think about treasure still being a thing, but
Yeah, it
treasure
is.
ain't going nowhere. But then I thought beyond that, like, I was like, are there still treasure hunters? Right? Because, like, you think you're a treasure hunter?
Absolutely.
Please elaborate.
Well, I mean, I just feel like there's no difference in me hunting antiques and there are people hunting treasure.
That ain't what I mean. I'm talking about like an Indiana Jones treasure hunting motherfucker.
Well, guess what?
Doing
I'm about to
riddles,
do that now.
dodging arrows. I'm not talking about going to some place and off the beaten path, Pennsylvania, and finding a sweet clock. That's not what I.
Well, if I ever
mean.
retire, I'm going to be a fucking treasure hunter. How about that?
Well, because evidently you can do it. Like, because I think, like,
Well, yeah, anyone can hunt.
I know, but dude, no, there's been people that find shit. Like, because I think sometimes about how, like, we've totally missed. There's a famous quote from some famous motherfucker that's like, I was born too late to explore the earth and too early to explore the stars,
Jimmy
the
Buffett.
cosmos, something like that. Jimmy Buffett, I think, famously said.
Well, he
too
was.
late
Yes, I am a pirate 200 years too late.
We are the middle children of history, born too late to explore Earth, born too early to explore the galaxy. That's James Clear, who everybody knows.
That's a great quote and so true.
It is. Well, because I think sometimes about, like...
Rush, you
we're
okay?
just spilling shit. We're good. I think sometimes about, like, how, like, dude, white people, used to be able to, like... Well,
claim stuff.
White people with money could go, like, explore. You could just explore. You could go to, like, a king and be like, get some money to explore. And when I'm exploring, if I find some gold, that'll hit for all of us. And the king would be like, yeah.
That does hit.
Go take all their gold.
How about spice, dog?
And they would go and explore.
Right.
Because
now we've seen it all.
We've seen it all, exactly.
Right.
So in a similar vein, I was thinking about treasure. It's like, you know, we've seen all the movies. People go and find treasure and shit. But do they still be treasure? Guess what? They do still be.
I'm so blown away. I did not know that because like you, I too was like, I've been under the impression that like we've seen everything that there is to see, except maybe at the bottom of the ocean.
And that's where almost all of it is.
Okay.
Shipwrecks. It's mostly like Spanish shipwrecks when Spain was out there just taking all the Indians' money and killing them and leaving.
Oh, I didn't know they did that.
Oh, yeah, you never heard that about Spain?
No,
that was Spain
please go on.
Shit, buddy. They love
Is that why
that.
it's fine to be racist towards them?
I mean,
you can't be racist towards Mexican, but Spanish people, it's like you can do Antonio Banderas. Hey,
yeah, we've talked about that. I mean, my stance on that is like Spanish people,
they're white,
still white, so you can go in on them.
Right.
But the only reason Mexicans are associated with Spain is because Spain came and took all their gold and killed all their
gave
kings
them
and
their language.
Fucked
what did they
and
speak
turned them
before that?
Indian.
Oh, that's true. They did speak Indian.
They spoke Aztec.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I'll be damned.
They spoke in the
yeah, it's hard to do
murder.
this, isn't it? Yeah,
murder. No,
yeah.
Like you ever seen that? I'm all over the place right now, but you
That's
ever
fine.
seen that? There's
what
like
show do you think
there's
you're on?
an Aztec instrument that's a hollowed out skull that makes the screams of the damned.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, Russ? It's like
It's the Aztec death whistle.
Aztec death whistle. It's like
Do they also use it as a soccer
you
ball?
did bring it up. Yeah, right. Yeah, they the Aztecs was metal as fuck.
Dude, they were.
They ain't hardly ever been nobody
Are
more
there
metal than
still
the
them?
Aztecs. I think they're just Mexicans now.
Oh, right. Well, that
Which
checks
they
out.
hit too.
What about their calendar?
They hit too. They're less metal, that's good for them. Oh, that's all right.
Oh, that ain't it. What the fuck is this? Get premium, you dumb fuck. Are you not allowed to play this?
No, I just want to get to the part where she's not talking.
Yeah, that would hit.
Yeah.
I think. Here comes the Aztec death whistle.
As you can see, super high pitched. It changes if you cup your hands.
What? That's a bird dying, dog.
Bro, that was their flute. Like,
What?
it's so funny to me to think about some, like, malcontent Aztec.
What the fuck?
Some malcontent Aztec teenager up in his room just like, I just want to play.
Yeah, right.
Leave me alone, Dad. I'm an artist. I need to express myself. And then,
Yeah. And also some hilarious Aztec uncle who was just like, hey, nephew, here's a skull for your birthday. And then just looks at his parents
Yeah.
just like, fuck you.
How many hearts you think them whistles went for?
Oh, man. That is how they paid for
they
stuff.
had a heart-based economy, as I understand it.
I mean, that's like 5 hearts, I'd say.
Yeah, we've been colonialist as fuck right now. But
Also,
it does
she
hit
has
for me.
horns, this lady.
Yeah.
I'm seeing.
So funny, dude.
Is she playing different
Smallest.
skulls?
Yeah, she got
Largest.
different death whistles. Imagine a whole orchestra of those together. They all do it together. And they're
Like John Williams trying to score something
Right.
with death
Right,
skulls.
they're all getting mad at each other and shit.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the wrong pitch. Fucking more blood curdling.
You're out of tune. It's supposed to sound like the
Right.
devil crapping.
Right. You're not curdling enough blood. Fucking, you need to go harder. What would our fucking demon bird god think about that?
Oh, that is fucking insane. I didn't know shit about that.
I hope it's okay to rip on the Aztecs. I'm not.
Buddy,
I'm
here's
not-
the deal. It is.
Yeah.
And, well, no, we're not ripping on it. Well, first off, look, if you don't think that wild, you are a liar.
Right. So, treasure hunting, right?
Right.
People be treasure hunting. There are companies that exist who are like,
Like the East India Company.
well, I mean, not like that. I mean, goddamn, Apple is our East India
Yeah,
company.
that's true. That's
But
true.
no, I don't mean like that. I mean, they're listed as like underwater salvage companies or whatever, but they're
Right.
like treasure hunting companies. They go out and just dig around on the ocean floor looking for Spanish gold and stuff, and sometimes they find them. There's this motherfucker named Mel Fisher. He's dead now. But Mel Fisher started diving back in the day and was
Only
like,
type of fisher there should be, by
and he
the
was
way.
like, I bet you there's yeah, female fishers ain't it. He started diving and he was
Clean
like,
them.
he was like, I bet you there's gold down here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to look for gold. And then I'll be goddamn. In 1985, Mel Fisher made the find of his career when he discovered the Spanish treasure galleon Nuestra Señora de Atocha, which sank off the Florida Keys in 1622. He recovered in total $450 million
My God.
worth of treasure,
That's
including
like-
40 tons of gold and silver and some of the finest emeralds ever mined.
That's like scratching lottery tickets on an insane level.
I know, but
Where
there's,
you're like, I'm going out to the ocean, and here's how much ocean there is. There's a fuck ton of ocean. So I'm going to go to one particular part of the ocean, which is essentially like scratching off one part of a lottery ticket, going, I bet there's gold right here, and then you fucking hit that shit. That's
right,
crazy.
but the thing is, it's not just him. It's not just that dude.
That's him.
That's him. That's Mel Fisher. He dead now. Rest in peace. But his kids,
He died hitting, I
his
guarantee
kids
you.
still run his like treasure hunting company. And according to their website, they're still out there digging around on the ocean floor to this day. But they sell treasure and shit. You could buy
What do you
treasure
mean?
off them. You can buy like
Well, yeah, what else would they do with it?
right, yeah. But I don't know. I feel like
You
you're
keep
talking
treasure.
about gold and
Yeah,
shit.
it's an
Well, not just-
investment.
I mean, yeah, you would sell it, but I'm saying you have to sell it to people.
Yeah, right. You wouldn't sell it to people.
a
You'd sell it to a
bank.
duke.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But yeah, but the thing, it's not like you said. It's like hitting the fucking water lottery.
Yeah, right.
But it's not just him. There's plenty of other ones too. This dude named Greg Stem owns a salvage company called Odyssey Marine Exploration, and they have, over the course of their existence, discovered $1.4 billion worth of lost treasure on the ocean floor.
Word?
Yes. And sometimes they find this treasure, and seems like it's mostly the Spanish. And it's like, it seems like the Spanish were real good at stealing Indians' gold, but
And
real
losing
bad
it.
at getting it back.
Yeah, right.
Getting it back to Spain. Like, they were real good at the getting gold part, but real bad at the not dying in a hurricane part. It seems like, from what I can tell, because it's always a Spanish galleon
Right.
or whatever. But yeah, but sometimes you find them, and depending where you find them, the country where you find them will be like, you can't have that gold, that's our gold. Which, like, frankly, I'm surprised that don't always happen.
Right, because it's like, that's our ocean.
So they
Right.
do it.
But,
Yeah.
like, you can't, I don't
We
want
own
to get
that
all
ocean.
super stonery about this, but, like,
Not
and,
on this show.
and I'm pretty sure that this is, like, a quote from Super Troopers, but it's like, it is. Like, you can't own the water, man.
No,
like,
man.
you can't, like,
That's international waters.
it's literally maritime law.
Yeah.
Like, if I
Water
find
business.
if I find something in the ocean, that shit
is
be
mine.
mine.
Yeah.
Right. I'm
We
sorry
all
to
know
the
it.
Spaniard that farted out this
Yeah.
shit, but
Well,
like that's mine.
Well, apparently they don't all agree with that. And they'll-
Look at that Jurassic
they'll
Park
take your shit.
motherfucker.
Yeah, that's E. Lee Spence found $100 million worth of Spanish gold.
See, that's what I want to do when I retire. You see this
Fine
whole
gold. That does hit.
Well, yes, but I mean the pursuit of it. Like I know that I will never find it, but like you see this guy, he's wearing like the like khaki vest with the fisherman's hat.
Yeah, no, he's got the official like
Explorer
explorer
look.
uniform.
I
on.
like
Right.
that. Like
That's
I think
that's a
Yeah,
it's
like
like
we
why
talk-
be a treasure hunter if you ain't gonna
to
dress
look like that.
Yeah,
Like
right.
like we talked about Benjamin Franklin on a couple episodes ago, where he like retired at 42, and what he did was like the eternal pursuit of knowledge. I've always thought like people go, oh, when I'm retired, I ain't gonna do shit. I'm just gonna sit in my chair and watch TV. I'm like, I think that like that's how I would spend my retirement. Like, why not dig the bottom of the ocean and look for gold?
Well, because I mean, to take a practical approach to it,
I hate you with your fucking pragmatism.
they have to like they gotta fund that.
Yeah, right.
But I'm saying
Boats cost money.
But some of these guys, they like went out to investors. It's so wild to me.
Right.
They went to actual investors and they were like, "Hey,
I'm gonna look for gold.
I'm gonna go out in the ocean and try to find some Spanish gold."
I'll give
And
you some.
Sometimes investors were like, here's
Yeah.
$12 million.
Right.
Like, that does not seem like a wise investment to me.
No, but I mean, the only thing is that some of them have seen it pay off, where they're like, "Yeah, we give you $12 million," and then they come up and they find the Hope Diamond, and they're like, "Okay, fuck yeah!" But like, no, I'm with you, and we always talk about on this show about how like people don't stay rich by investing in dumb stuff, but like
treasure hunters.
like treasure hunters,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
like a Nicolas Cage blockbuster
Right,
movie in
right.
the 2000s,
Right. Yeah, but I guess
They
sometimes
do.
it does hit.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's the only way to like. But we also think we forget to think about the fact that like a lot of these people got rich because they did something stupid and it paid off. Like when you make a dumb fucking bet, like how many times have I made a parlay that seemed stupid, but then it paid off, and then here I am, and so now I look like a genius. You know what I'm saying? So like they do it once, and then they blow all their fucking money. Y'all, I ain't trying to sound mean or nothing, but if you think that all Bluetooth speakers are the same, well, they're not. You're silly. Nobody can hang with my boys over at Big Dog Speakers. What I like about them personally the most is that they're from Augusta, Georgia. Go Dogs, baby. But here's the deal. You know, to be a redneck, you must crank your music, oftentimes to ear-piercing levels. These bad boys here, the Scouts, go up to 105 decibels, but it don't sound weird and it don't click and pop. It's super clear. It's 40 watts. It's waterproof, so if you spill your Miller Lite on it, no big deal. It also charges other devices. You can plug your phone into it, your iPad into it, your cigarette into it, whatever you want to do. 15 hours of playback. You can listen to the Jimmy Buffett live album like for 3 times, like 3 times front and back. There's 4. It's great. You can also pair 2 of them so you can get that stereo sound. It's going to sound like you right there. You can also listen to our podcast in it. It'll seem like me and Trae are on both sides of your head arguing about squirrels. The Big Dog Scout is now available online at bigdogspeakers.com for $99, but you get 20% off with the promo code POA. For more information on Big Dog Speakers, visit bigdogspeakers.com. And again, the Scout is the best speaker in the world, and you can get it 20% off with the promo code POA at bigdogspeakers.com. Woof!
Yeah, so I don't know how any of this relates to designer clothes, but that's what I want to talk about.
Oh, I
So-
forgot what we were even doing. If I'm being honest with you, I
So-
forgot we were recording.
Because at first, I feel like maybe Katie or you, somebody, I mix you and Katie up all the time. You and my wife. One of y'all, I feel like, suggested
Why?
designer brands to me, because you're the 2 loves of my life. That's why.
Oh, thank you, Trae.
Suggested designer brands to me, and I feel like at first I was like, what? Fucking trash people don't fuck with that. But then I realized that they do. There's both like the bootleg version, but there's also like, we think of designer brands and we just think of like the fancy ones that hit, but they're not the only ones.
Tommy Hilfiger's a designer brand.
We'll get to that a little later. It goes way lower than Tommy Hilfiger.
Well, yeah, of course.
But like hidden designer clothes, it's like, it's one of those things. It's a lot like wine, in my opinion, where it's like you look into it and you're like, why does this hit? And there are like practical explanations for it. Oh, they use higher quality things. They spend more time on it. They're, they're done by craftsmen or craftswomen, whatever. It's like, it's not just bullshit. It's higher quality or whatever. But it seems like what it mostly comes down to is like, you decide you want to make stuff that hits for people that hit.
Right.
You get somebody that hits to wear your shit and talk about how it hits.
Right.
Or it be made to hit, and then you just hit after that.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's why Giselle is
It's
like such a, she's still in demand, because like she'll just wear something and people be like, that must hit.
That hits.
Because Giselle's wearing it.
Right. But it's also like, I think we talked about Apple or something at one point, but it's like for a lot of these designers, it's 95% of it is you're just paying for the name.
Of course.
To begin with.
Nike is like, there's
right.
sweatshirts that like the Nike, like there's like I have a Nike sweatshirt and I have another one that's like a complete off-brand Walmart type sweatshirt, and I swear to God, they feel the same, they look the same, they're made from the same material. It's just that one of them has that check mark on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when people see me in it, they're like, he wearing a Nike. Like Abercrombie with the moose, their polos were not made any better than any other polo. Matter of fact, I could argue that they were made worse, but they had the moose on it.
Right.
So people were like, he got the moose. He must hit.
Well, see, and that's how the whole thing works the whole time. Like, you come out the gate, and I feel like a lot of people come out the gate, they hit to begin with in some way. They've got connections and stuff, but it's like you get people that hit to wear your shit, right? And if you can do that, and then it like becomes known that your shit hits for people who hit. Am I making sense here?
Yes, Lacoste, the alligator, like all that shit.
You're in there, right?
Yeah.
After that point, and it's like they're not doing
Balenciaga is a great example of that.
They're better than. It's not that they're not at all better. Like, they have more quality, but it's like to the same extent that they cost that much more.
Yeah.
No.
Of course not.
It's just like you're wearing it to be wearing it. But what's wild to me is some designers don't put their shit on their shit.
Right.
Am I making sense now?
Yes.
They don't put their logo or whatever on their clothes.
And that's a feature of it.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Like, no, we're not
like,
advertising our shit.
You got to know what hits to know how hard I hit.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Like Eddie Bauer does. Now, not that Eddie Bauer is a designer or whatever, but one of the reasons that and you know me, Trae, huge Eddie Bauer guy. Love it.
You're part of the Eddie Bauer family, are you not?
Without question, I used to work there.
He worked for Eddie Bauer, yeah.
I did. And one of the reasons that I used to love Eddie Bauer t-shirts is because the Eddie Bauer t-shirt didn't have a logo on it. It was just a nice, well-made cotton blend t-shirt that was logoless, because I didn't like to have, like, when you wear a polo shirt, it's got the horse on it. And a lot of people are always like, this is kind of bullshit, because what really I'm doing is I'm paying money to be a billboard for this company.
So,
like, the horse is not actually that great of a design, but with Eddie Bauer, I never felt that way.
So there's oh my God, I just went blank. He's a rapper. He hits. He's from Southern California. It's what's his name?
What's the thing?
Jesus Christ! He's got a song. He's got a lyric that goes. He's talking about designer shit, and he goes, "I feel like fuck Versace. They raping N-words pockets."
With the N-word, I don't understand.
Oh, right. What? Yeah.
I don't. What's that?
Well, it's a word that starts with N that people say, but we can't say.
Okay, we'll look into that later.
The song.
Okay.
I feel like fuck Versace. They raping N-words pockets. Something about being acknowledged. Just thank me for the profits.
Right.
And it's like, it's oh my God. He's hugely famous, or at least he was for a while, and I can't remember the name of a North. He's got a song called North. He's from LA.
Is that about?
Look up North, Russ.
Does that mean North?
When you find out this dude's name, we're all going to be like, oh, right, that guy.
Right.
I just literally.
North.
Vince Staples.
Oh, yeah, I love Vince Staples.
Fucking Staples.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so it's like, and I feel like that's what he's talking about, where it's like, we are making these
We're
dudes
promoting
million,
you.
right? We're
Right.
spending all kinds of money on this shit for no good reason, and all we're doing is making them richer because
Yeah.
we're making it hit harder. We're spending money to make them hit harder,
Right.
and they're the ones that get all the shine, and we get no acknowledgement
that's
for it
why-
or whatever. And that's how all that shit works with all them people and stuff that hits. It's
That's
like if you get in
why-
a place where you hit for fucking rich, powerful, influential people or what tastemakers and shit like that, you know, you're just set and they'll do your job
Of course, for
you.
you, right? And I
know?
feel that same way about like the most genius thing that
I apologize
Nike,
to Vince Staples. He really hits for me.
I love Vince
I can't believe
Staples.
I forgot
love
his
Vince
name, but
Staples.
yeah.
I don't know what the N word is, but I love Vince Staples. I feel the same way about Nike. I love Nike, and I think the most brilliant thing that Nike ever did was come up with like the check mark. Like it's beautiful. It's actually aesthetically pleasing. So what they did was they found out a way to have their logo like when you buy like my favorite shoes of all time, and you know this, are Jordan 1s. Jordan 1s are a high top shoe where the Nike check is part of the design, right? Under Armour's design kind of looks shitty when it's put on stuff, and some people just have to have their name put there like polo. But the Nike check in itself is a part of the design, and it is what makes that shoe look great. But it also is when somebody sees me wearing it, they go, those are Nikes, because that's a check mark and that's what Nike does. But they made it a part of the design, and it was so aesthetically pleasing that they knew these are going to be a walking billboard for our shit. Right? Even
Right.
like I'm not a famous person, but me walking around wearing Nikes, people go, Nikes, those hit.
Well, you know, and like we're talking about getting people to hit to rock your shit. Phil Knight was running
Yeah.
around hustling in like the 80s.
How he got Jordan.
Did you right? And
Yeah.
before he tried to get
Magic Johnson, and he went to Converse.
Right, exactly. But like Phil Knight was like, because he knew, he was like, I get one of these dudes,
I'm in.
Right,
Like I can
exactly.
spend however much money I need to spend, I'm fucking in.
Right.
And the original shoes that he had were the Cortezes, I believe. That was the original Nike track shoe. And like like people don't understand this. When Michael Jordan signed with Nike, that would be like right now if
Right.
LeBron James signed with a company
Right.
you've
Right.
never heard
Yeah,
of.
right,
A company you've never heard of.
right.
It was unprecedented, but they were like, but Phil Knight was smart, and he was like, however much money you fucking need, I'm in.
Right. So yeah, I mean,
I'm
like,
taking over your shit, just
no,
like
it
you.
hits on. I'm glad you're doing it. I'm glad you're doing it. But yeah, and it's like, it's the type of thing that I feel like I think about Gucci, Versace, Louis Vuitton, stuff like that. And my trash ass, I'm like, that's so dumb. It's just clothes. Who gives a fuck? But then, like, you know, I still have the shit that hits for me.
You
know
got
what I
Gucci
mean? I have
slides?
stuff that I hit. Yeah, I got Gucci slides. Yeah, I kind of almost got.
It's a
those as
status
joke.
thing.
But like,
I know, but it's still but the reason that you got it as a joke, and I would have done the same thing, is because it's funny that your redneck ass has Gucci
Right.
slides.
right,
But they got your money
right,
because you were like, these are super expensive, and most people don't think that I could have these, so I'm gonna get these.
Most
And I do
people
that
don't-
shit too.
most people don't think that I could have these. That goes back to, again, it's always the same root explanation for all this, is that it's exclusivity. Regular people can't
Yep.
have it. That's the thing that really
Yep.
makes it hit for rich people, fancy people, whatever. Before we transition into talking about the redneck version of this, a good transition point, I think, I wanted to give a shout out to, and I don't know the guy, but do you know Billy Reed? You know who Billy Reed is?
Billy Reed is a golfer.
Billy Reed that I'm talking about is an American fashion designer who is, along with Marc Jacobs, Tom Ford, and Michael Kors, one of only 4 fashion designers who have ever won 3 or more CFDA, like the fashion Oscars.
Hold
right?
on.
Billy Reed.
Can
is
I guess
from-
what he does? Florida?
No.
I was going to guess the Big Johnson guy.
No, but Big John, we're going to get to Big Johnson.
No fear?
No, dude. This guy hits. Did you hear what I said?
no, I
Fucking
know,
Marc
but-
Jacobs, Tom Ford.
Yeah.
You think the Big Johnson guy is winning the same awards
I
that
thought
Tom
that's
Ford wins?
I thought that's what you were trying to tell me.
No, Billy Reed is from Florence, Alabama. and he still lives in Florence, Alabama, but he's on the level of Tom Ford and these guys. He sells lived-in luxury, broken-in luxury clothes. So it's like rustic jackets that hit.
Which I like.
But I'm
a fan of
I'm
that.
saying he's head
Right,
to
but
toe
what's his
legit.
brand?
Billy Reed.
Oh, it's called Billy Reed?
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought that you were trying to be like, this guy named Billy Reed.
Billy Reed.
I thought you were trying to tell me this guy named Billy Reed, and then secretly it was going to be like, this is blah, blah,
Billy
blah.
Reed sounds red. He's from
It
Florence,
does, yeah.
Alabama. Florence, Alabama is right across the state line from where Katie's from.
Of
Waynesboro. That's where Patterson and them are from. They're
Yeah.
from that area.
And that's a very Patterson look right
Patterson
there.
is the reason I know about him. Patterson,
Really?
shout out Patterson.
Does he wear their shit?
Truckers. I was talking to Patterson for our book. I was interviewing Patterson about North Alabama or whatever, and he started talking about Billy Reed. And
Is that Patterson? Billy Reed looks just like Patterson.
And I didn't know who Billy Reed was at the time, and Patterson, cued me into him or whatever. But anyway, his name's fucking Billy Reed. He's from Alabama. But yet he's on the level of Tom Ford and all these guys, which is why I said
Lived in is the shit.
He draws he's the
Right.
bridge. He's bridge between the two.
Right.
Because again, you think designer clothes, you think rednecks, white trash don't like that, but then you already mentioned Big Johnson is a brand. You know what I mean?
No
It's the
Fear
same-
is
no
a
Fear.
brand.
So it's funny.
Cutter and Buck.
I've got-
Look at this one. This is, I think, one of the stores.
Yeah, that hits. I wrote down no fear, right? Big Johnson. Russ, you know Big Johnson?
Yeah.
Everybody
T-shirts,
knows.
dumbass T-shirts.
With a worm-looking dude with a big old dick,
Yeah.
and there's like each one of them is like a political cartoon. Like each shirt is like a political cartoon. Like the last one I have, my buddy bought it for me, and so it's the last Big Johnson shirt I ever owned. I used to own a lot of them. Now my mom didn't know about any of them because my mom, if she saw me in a Big Johnson shirt, she'd get mad. The last one I had, it was green, and it was Tiger Woods riding in a golf cart, and he had a huge black eye, and Elon was chasing him with a fucking, golf club or whatever, and then there was just like Big Johnson on the side going,
Right. See, that's designer clothes.
It is designer clothes. It is, though. Like, it is. That's a brand.
Right. So, but there's also there's variations of it in between, but it's the same exact thing. An example I thought of is affliction.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like affliction, obviously it wasn't for fancy people, it was for bro ass douchebags.
Yeah, but it's designer.
It was the Gucci
Yes.
of those guys.
Of course.
It was like if you're in that world, you gotta have some
affliction.
tees.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's like
Did that bug ever get you?
I had a couple of shirts in that vein. I'm
Chin
not
strap?
gonna lie. Yeah, chin strap era.
Played.
Chin strap era. Trae had some shirts that looked sort of like that.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
so
lie.
fortunate that it tempted me. It
Yeah.
really did tempt me, and then for some not for some reason. I know the reason. When I saw it in the world, I go, damn, that's kind of bad because they are badass looking.
Right.
And I saw them and I was like, man, that's badass. And then I had you just see one buddy wearing it, being all affliction-y, and you're just like, never mind.
Well, my favorite shirt that I had that was in that vein it was clearly an Affliction ripoff because it was during that era, but it was a Jamie Johnson concert T-shirt.
He had a very affliction vibe there,
And
yeah.
I would almost wear that shirt right now because
Right.
Jamie Johnson hits for me.
Of course,
But
he's great.
But it was Jamie Johnson merch that was ripping off the affliction vibe.
yeah.
So it's very affliction-y, but yet it's Jamie Johnson at the same time. So, which if y'all don't know, Jamie Johnson's a country Americana.
do you know about Ride Rank?
Ryan Rank?
Ride Rank.
Ride Rank? No, I don't.
So Ride Rank is the bull riding affliction. Like the
Okay.
people that are into the bull riding world, it's called Ride Rank. And it's fucking huge now. And basically it's the same thing as affliction, but it's for dude that rides bulls. So instead of it being like a barbed wire thing, it'll be like a bull's horns and shit like that.
Uh-huh.
And so it's that right there. So Ride Rank is enormous in that world. And do you remember when I worked at Yellowstone and I rode back home with my buddy Jesse?
Yeah.
And we sold fucking his CDs and made it back there? Well, we did the Bluestone Rodeo. Jesse got booked at the Bluestone Rodeo, and just to play songs after the rodeo in this tiny little bar. And so we get there and we start talking to this guy who was super fucking cool. And he was just like, hey, man, I've been listening to, you do music. And I was doing jokes and stuff. Like I was walking around telling people jokes, selling the CDs. He's like, you guys are great. He goes, would you like to come eat with me? And it was at like a Longhorn Steakhouse, but he was like, my treat. And we were like, fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah. So we go, and this guy's telling us, he's like, hey, man, my name's, I can't remember what his name is. He's like, I've got this startup. And really, he's like, I'm doing pretty decent, but like, all I'm trying to do is make enough money to afford all the Dr. Pepper and all the dip that I can have. And it was the guy that started Ride Rank, and that was like his first. He went and was like selling his shit at a rodeo. So like, I met that guy when he was starting it up, and he bought me dinner.
Well, I imagine he got what he wanted.
He
all
did.
the Dr. Pepper and dip a man could ever
He
ask
did.
for. So,
No, I'm sorry. I know that was stupid, but I felt like I couldn't not say it.
no, that last thing, talking about trash designers. Russ, go to the POA, Doc. Cho, I'm certain you do. Do you remember Dixie Outfitters?
Bro, are you kidding me? It had the rebel flag.
Yeah.
There was
Their whole branding was Rebel Flag. Keep going down a little bit more, Russ. Right there, Dixie Outfitters, yeah.
I mean, like, I'm going to, like, don't cancel me or nothing, but, like, I had some Dixie Outfitter shirts.
Right, well,
Like we all did.
They were huge. Their whole branding was the Rebel Flag, right? And I remember in like the late 90s, Salina, Tennessee, Dixie Outfitters got banned from my school because of the Rebel
Flag. Oh, yeah, that never happened to us.
We had black kids in my school.
Oh, right.
And
yeah,
so,
we had
anyway,
one, and I took her to prom. Shout out.
This was a problem then, and it was a huge controversy because all the rednecks were like, it was the whole, it's heritage, not hate.
Right.
That whole thing was a big thing.
That was 2001.
So this is why I wanted Russ to bring it up. I found out Dixie Outfitters is still around, and look what they're doing now, dog.
Oh, my God.
Look at this
Leaned
shit.
in.
For people that are only listening, there's a fucking T-shirt. It's an American flag in the background. It's a ripped Donald Trump.
Looks like Travis Barker.
With, Travis Barker's, he's got like Tupac tattoos, but they say MAGA and patriotic on them. Then there's a picture of Donald Trump riding a lion with an American flag and fireworks behind him. But this Dixie Outfitter's still around, and this is what they're doing.
Can I tell you something?
Look at that.
Baby Yoda with a rebel flag? Okay, now you've killed me. Now you've pissed me the fuck off. First off, it's not Baby Yoda, it's Grogu. That's his actual Christian name. Here's the thing. Not to get political, because I know we don't get political on this show. I know that.
We wouldn't get political enough to shit on the rebel flag.
No. I know, no, but not about what I'm about to say. Here's what bothers me, and I don't understand. I'm the opposite of that, but if someone tried to sell me a shirt with Joe Biden riding a fucking bear on it, I would go, get the fuck out of here. Right. That is stupid as shit.
I'm not an idiot.
I'm not an idiot.
Right.
And like, to see how far Dixie Outfitters has fallen, because at one point it was about
storied days.
It was a white shirt with a rebel flag on it, with a dude holding a bass with a hook in its mouth.
Say, maybe a tractor.
That's what I'm
guy
saying.
With a tractor and the rebel flag. Dixie Outfitters.
And you can justify that.
Right, yeah.
You can justify that, because it wasn't until 8th grade when I started actually really piping up to the whole "it's heritage, not hate" thing. Because like the Confederate flag, like, and you literally wrote an article for Rolling Stone about it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Trae writing an article for Rolling Stone. But like, we didn't think about it. We're just like, yeah, that's a flag that we have, whatever. And then I remember in 8th grade, that's when Georgia was going to change its flag. And it was a whole big deal. And everybody in our school, even the teachers, were saying this to us. They were like, it's heritage, not hate. And then I remember, like, I don't know what news program I was watching in 8th grade, but somebody like giving the opposite spin that was just like, the heritage there is that the Confederacy represents slavery, and that's why it's bad. And I was like, in 8th grade, I was like, oh, yeah, fuck that. And then all my Dixie Outfitter shirts went in the fucking trash. But now this fucking company has doubled down and has a fucking Donald Trump with a six-pack. Like,
bro, what else are they gonna do? Do you
no,
know what I
I
mean?
know,
Like
and
that,
good
like,
for them, I
doubling
guess.
down was their only option. I feel like
I just
it
don't.
still don't hit.
But I don't understand that shit because, like, again, as much as I'm anti that, I would never wear an article of clothing with any politician on it. Any, like if you like, here's a free Joe Biden T-shirt, I'd be like, cool, I'm washing my car with it. You know what I mean? Like, that's just fucking the most doubling down nonsense I've ever seen. Russ, look up what Big Johnson's doing right now. I need to know.
Okay, just look up Big Johnson clothing, see if they still exist.
Because they were pretty risque at the time. I have to imagine that they are like borderline insane right now. Wouldn't you think?
Big Johnson clothing. Let's find out.
Let's see.
Let's see what they're doing. Yeah, they still got BigJohnson.com. Yeah, it seems like they're just still keeping the dream alive, dude, from what I can tell. Yeah, I think they're still just doing
They're just
their
regular. I just scroll in on that shirt. Let's see what it says.
thing. It's a dick joke.
Oh, it's malt liquor. Yeah, and that's pretty much all Big Johnson ever was.
That's what
Well,
I'm
you
saying.
know what? I'm so proud of them.
Pops up fast, goes down slow.
Dude,
keep-
if
they-
it ain't broke.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Wait, hold on,
Good
Russ.
for them.
Do you have your credit card? I kind of want us to all get that Big Johnson shirt. Well, get it. Buy it. Buy 3 of those. You're an XL. Me and Trae are both larges. That's tremendous. I'm sorry for taking this over, Trae. But
No, that's all right. No, we're done. I'm ready to talk about eggs.
oh, cool. Let's talk about eggs. Right after this,
Yeah.
we're going to take a break and we're going to talk about Faberge eggs.
Y'all, do you have any idea how much your subscriptions cost? You know, all the different little things you subscribe to. You got all the streaming services, the music apps, but then you also got your little face swap GIF maker apps that are absolutely paramount for getting a subscription to. We all know what that's like. Most Americans think that they spend around $80 a month on such subscriptions, but in reality, the actual total is closer to $200 a month. And if you don't know exactly how much you're spending every month, then you need Rocket Money. The average person has around 12 paid subscriptions. I guarantee you, I know for a fact now, thanks to Rocket Money, that I have far more than that. You could have subscribed to something 5 years ago and been paying for it ever since, and you wouldn't even remember. That's how they get you, y'all, and Rocket Money is here to help. Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill, is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Over 80% of people have subscriptions they have completely forgotten about, like that streaming service you bought to just watch one show on, or that free trial that you never even used. Rocket Money will quickly and easily identify your subscriptions for you so you can stop paying for the ones you no longer want. Simply find the subscription you don't want and press cancel, and Rocket Money will cancel it for you. No long hold times with customer service or tedious emailing back and forth, clicking all them little links they'll send you. None of that. Rocket Money makes canceling subscriptions as easy as a click of a button. Over 3 million people have used Rocket Money, saving the average person up to $720 a year. Cho, what do you think about it?
Well, buddy, thank God for Rocket Money. My wife always makes fun of me because I just subscribe to everything, and I always tell her, like, it's a write-off. She's like, you can't write off everything. And I'm like, but it's about the Royals, and I do a podcast on... Dude, they gave us a subscription. I was subscribed to some, like, Swedish type of Netflix that I don't even remember having done, and I was paying like $9.99 a month. So that's gone. All in all, I ended up saving about $75 a month in just stuff that I had no idea I was doing. And you know what I'm going to do with that money, Trae?
What?
I'm going to parlay it on the dogs this week. So thank you, Rocket Money, for giving me money to gamble with.
I was going to say
Stop
make
throwing
it hit.
Yeah, you have to. That's found money. Stop throwing your money away. Cancel unwanted subscriptions and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/POA. That's rocketmoney.com/POA. rocketmoney.com/POA. Y'all, it is cold out there, but it ain't no reason you can't keep your weenie warm. That's right. We're talking about our good friends over at Blue Chew. Fellas, we all know that confidence can take you far in life, and that's especially true in the bedroom when it comes time to step up to the plate, a.k.a. the crotchal region of the one you love, and that's where Blue Chew comes in. Trae, please tell our friends about Blue Chew.
Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead to get down, or you can just be ready to get down whenever an opportunity comes up. The process is simple. You sign up at bluechew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. That's the best part of the whole damn thing. It's all done down there on the internet there. No more visits to the doctor's office, no awkward wiener conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy, running into your old football coach, none of that stuff. Blue Chew's tablets are made right here in the US of A, prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package. Cho, tell them about it.
I love it so much. I've been using it for like 5 years. My wife will not let me go without it. She talks about how much better my wiener is with it, and I can't deny it. It is. And I'm actually thinking, my wife is pregnant, but if you think that means I ain't going to pop a Blue Chew tonight and wear it out when she gets back from the meeting 3, you've lost your mind, son, because I am. I love it. It's fantastic. Trae, tell them how they can get Blue Chew and New Year, New Dick.
If you want a new year and a new dick and you can benefit from some extra confidence when it's time to perform, chew it and do it, baby. Half better sex. We've got a special deal for our listeners. You can try Blue Chew for free. I said free when you use our promo code POA at checkout. All you got to do is pay $5 shipping. That ain't nothing. That's bluechew.com, promo code POA to receive your first month free. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for continuing to sponsor this here podcast. Get you a new dick. All right, we're back, everybody. Airheads, it's time for, we're back to history with Professor CHO. I'm loving switching it up lately, but now we're getting a little more traditional. Talking about the fanciest goddamn eggs in the game, right? Faberge Egg.
Faberge Egg.
See, it's Faberge, again, as earlier I said, I always thought it was Faberge.
Me too.
Faberge sounds fancier to me than Faberge.
No, I
Because
agree.
Faberge sounds dumb.
Yeah, it does.
Faberge.
Faberge. Oh, Faberge.
Faberge. Yeah, right. That sounds fancy. Fucking Faberge. That ain't it.
Yeah, that ain't it.
But apparently it is Faberge. Well, I mean, it's not Faberge. It's, what is it?
Excuse me. Hold on.
Faberge.
Faberge. Well, hold on, Trae. Look at this. It's like, this is how
The
it said
R
it. It's got
comes
the
after the
accent on here.
Yeah.
Faberge.
Right. But I'm saying it goes Faber. I always thought it was RE.
Yeah, no, I did too.
Anyway, what do I know about these things? Nothing. Some motherfucker made a bunch of eggs out of fancy shit, and they're worth a whole lot of money for some reason, and it's got to do with Russia, and that's it.
Well, so I'm with you in that I don't know anything about it, and I mean that in the sense of me about to talk about it.
Right.
But I always thought that Faberge was like a type of design or like a type of cloth or like I thought Faberge was a thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like how cotton is a thing. I thought that Faberge was that. Does that make sense to you?
Like that was
Yeah.
material
Yeah, like I didn't know
Or a design or something.
yeah, like
It's
I didn't know
it's
that.
like a paisley or something
Yeah,
like
paisley,
that.
toile, whatever. I didn't know
Yeah.
that Faberge was a human being. Like I thought that like
I didn't either.
Faberge was like a type of design, much like cotton. But a Faberge egg, which in Russian means
Hit an egg.
okay, Trae, let me ask you this.
Okay.
This right here. How you say that?
That?
That.
That's Russian
That's
talk.
I know, but like
I don't fucking know. I
Well,
don't
when
speak that
someone
shit.
but when someone spells something in Chinese, I can still.
Forskavelska.
Oh, that you nailed it. Wait, oh, it says right here, Romanize It's a Faberge Egg.
It's a Faberge.
It's a Faberge.
Went Italian with it.
It's a jeweled egg created by the jewelry firm house of Faberge in St. Petersburg, Russia. There were as many as 69 created.
Nice.
Yeah. Dude, you know what, man? I'm growing up.
It's a very interesting number.
I'm growing up because when I read that, it didn't even occur to me that like there was going to be a 69 joke.
Well, yeah, I never miss one. So, what are you going to do? Russ has pulled it up, and I saw it, and I'm glad you got to that because holy shit, I did not realize only 69 were credited and 57 survive on Earth today.
Yeah, so
like I guess I get
the exclusivity
why
of them.
They hit so hard.
Me
Because
too.
I did not know there was fucking 57 of them on planet Earth. Because like they feature so heavily in like heist movies and rich people plot lines and stuff. And it's like I just thought that I probably thought you could like commission
a
new
Faberge egg.
Right, exactly.
No, I'm the same way. Like I thought that again, Faberge egg was the same thing as like. I don't even
like
know.
a Tiffany diamond?
Yeah, Tiffany diamond.
Yeah, right.
Or like, it's just like a Faberge is a style of egg, but turns out it's just like.
Russ just looked up. There's 300 Rembrandt paintings. So there's 1/6.
Wow.
The number of Rembrandt paintings in the world. Faberge eggs. That's fucking wild. That's wild.
Good pull,
Well,
Russ.
more like 1/5, I guess. But
So the House of Faberge, and I'm getting this from this startup website that I would really like to shout out right now, if you don't mind. I know that they're not paying for us, but is it cool if I shout out a website that I'm getting this from?
Yeah.
It's a startup called Wikipedia, right? So the House of Faberge.
I hope Facts.net don't hear about this.
I forgot that
They're gonna
3
be
episodes
upset.
was
They're gonna be upset.
Facts.net.
Yeah, you've deviated from Facts.net, went over to whatever this Wikipedia shit is. I'm more of a Facts.net guy myself, but okay.
You know that I had an idea to do a podcast where I basically just like talked facts into the microphone, which I know is what we, try to do.
Sure.
But I was going to call it Hickopedia, and there's already that. There's already a Hickopedia. Isn't that a fucking
What's that,
bummer?
like a Wikipedia, but for redneck shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Except for but it does hit. But don't you think that if it did hit, we would have already heard about it without me having to look it up?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
look
about
up
to find out.
Hickopedia.
Hickopedia, there it is. What did it say? The best online resource for. Anyway,
I'm just saying that we should have done that.
So your idea was what? You're going to speak facts into a microphone?
I was going to do
Where are you going to get these facts?
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia?
Yeah, Wikipedia.
So you're just going to read Wikipedia in a redneck accent and call it Hickopedia?
Well, first off, Trae, I'm doing that right now.
I know, right. Yeah.
But I was going to take what's on Wikipedia and turn it into my own spin. Like I was going to then give my opinions on it and call it Hickopedia, which again is this fucking show.
Bro, hold up. You've put me off on
I'm fine.
Thing.
Let's look at it.
Hickopedia. How about this? Russ has pulled it up, and there's a section on Hickopedia, top 10 redneck sayings. Top 10 redneck sayings, and number 1, ain't no point in beating a dead horse. Of course, can't hurt
neither. Yeah, whoop that horse's ass.
A face like a bulldog chewing a wasp. Ask her what time it is, and she'll tell you how to build a clock. I like that one.
No, I love that one.
I don't think I've ever heard that.
I hear that a lot with Jim Ross, the wrestling commentator. Yeah. He always talks about how, he goes, I don't like people. He goes, I want you, if I ask you what time it is, I want you to tell me what time it is, not tell me how to build a clock.
Yeah. The number 10, I think, is great because I think we talked about this. You talk about your grandma with the glass-eyed squealy worm and stuff. Like the fucking, you're right. Some redneck sayings are just like, what the fuck? So number 10 on this list is getting money out of me right now would be like trying to shove butter up a wildcat's butt with a hot poker.
I've actually heard that one.
I get it. One that I heard when I was a kid was something like, yada, 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 quicker than a grease string out a cat's asshole.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I've heard that one.
That would come out pretty quick, I guess, but what? the fuck are you talking about? Anyway,
Does a one-legged duck swim in circles? I
definitely
like
heard
that
that
one.
one.
Yeah,
I've
I've heard that
a
one.
lot.
Dumber than a box. Well, yeah, dude, that don't even need to
busy
be on.
as a farmer with one hoe and 2 rattlesnakes.
Full of piss and vinegar, I've always been curious about what even, like, all of these right here, I can go, yeah, I know what they mean.
Yeah.
What does full of piss and vinegar mean? Like, why would that? Because we all know that, like, full of piss and vinegar means somebody that's like
I'd say just
ready to go.
sour, you know?
Yeah, but that don't really make sense to me because
But it
they're
don't
like
mean sour.
he's young and he's ready to go. He's full of piss and vinegar. Like, why does that mean ready to fucking rock and roll? Because that's what full of piss and vinegar means, is like ready to rock and roll. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
the
Apparently John
origin-
Steinbeck coined that.
Really?
I never knew that. 1936, John Steinbeck's novel, In Dubious Battle. How about that? Who knew?
I will be damned. Well,
That's some auspicious origins right there.
well, back
anyway,
to
yeah,
back
let's
to
talk
my
about, Let's talk
topic.
about these eggs.
Back to my
Goddamn.
topic. The House of Faberge was founded by Gustave Faberge
Mhm.
in 1842 in St. Petersburg, Russia.
Mhm.
The Faberge egg was a later addition to the product line by his son, Peter Carl Faberge. So here's what happened. Tsar Alexander III was just like, I'm a czar, right? Everybody in here agrees that I'm a czar. And so if I'm going to get my wife something, it probably needs to be some like czar type shit.
Right.
So he goes to this Peter Faberge motherfucker, and he's just like, yo, man, make me something. And he's just like, okay.
That bitch like eggs.
How about an egg?
Yeah,
Right? And so the czar was like, what the fuck do you mean an egg? And he was just like, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, right.
Like, let me make this egg, and I'll tell you. So it was for Easter, right? And it was before his coronation. So Alexander III and Maria Ferdinandova,
Nailed it.
they were given eggs, one of which contained, like, inside the egg, there were all these things. So it was sort of like, you know how, like, Russian dolls be?
Yeah, or like a Kinder egg.
A Kinder egg, right? So, like, apparently
So
in Russia...
the Faberge eggs originally had hits inside of them?
Yes. So apparently
Okay.
in Russia...
It's making more sense to me by the minute.
Yeah, apparently in Russia, their whole thing it was like, we need hits, and then you open them hits, and then there's other hits inside of there.
Yeah.
And then just when you think that there's no more hits, we open that hit up, and there's another hit in there.
Looks like, based on what Russ is clicking around on over here, that Faberge still exists, and they're really married to the egg thing now,
Yeah.
which I guess I understand. So nowadays they're making like egg-shaped lockets.
Is it
and
still
shit
the
like
same
that.
company?
Yeah, it looks like it. I don't know, same name. Somebody else, I'm sure, probably bought it. That's nice, a little seal inside of an egg on a necklace. Who wouldn't want that?
So the first one that he gave the dude, it contained a silver dagger and 2 skulls.
That hits. That
And
hits
so-
way harder than a seal.
It does. And the egg also came with messages in it, kind of like a fortune cookie when you would open it up. And the first message that it said was, Christ is risen. Way to
Oh,
make
hit.
it not hit.
Yeah, right, absolutely. Fucking, you start out metal as fuck, and then I'll get all stupid with it.
Well,
Anyway.
then it goes back to getting metal. The second message was, you may crush us, but we nihilists shall rise again.
That is so
The opposite.
disparate. The two,
I agree.
The two fucking messages. Like, how does the same dude land on those two things?
I don't understand.
We nihilists shall reign supreme, or whatever you said. Also, Jesus is Lord. Like,
It
that
makes
don't make no sense.
nihilism and Jesus don't
They're
have.
not right.
Well, actually,
They're
that's not true. Like,
antithetical,
Jesus
aren't
was
they?
actually kind of a nihilist,
Okay, but nihilists don't believe in nothing, right?
right?
Jesus is the thing that people believe in.
Right.
You can't be a nihilist and think Jesus hits.
No, that's 100%. You can't be a nihilist and believe that Jesus hits. But if you really think about Jesus and how when Jesus was around, he was bucking the entire system. Like, he was out there going like, Caesar, all this stuff that y'all are saying,
Right. That
He
don't
was
make
a
him
bit of a
nihilist.
Eh.
No, he believed in people. Jesus was like,
Actually, that's true.
right.
Yeah, no,
A
you're right.
nihilist is somebody that don't believe in
In nothing.
shit. Like, there ain't no point or meaning to fucking nothing. And that Jesus weren't that.
Yeah, that's actually very true. So, Russ, I'm not going to bring it up right now, but here in a second, I did put in the doc a list of like the biggest,
Right
most
there.
expensive Faberge eggs.
Very top, Russ.
So
very
I'm going to
top.
say a couple more things, and then we're going to look at that. So before Easter 1885, Alexander III's brother, Alexander's the one that gave him this skull Faberge egg that said Christ is risen. The Grand Duke Vladimir Alexandrov suggested that Peter Carl Faberge create a jeweled egg. So this type of egg is believed to be inspired by an ivory hen egg made for the Danish royal collection in the 18th century, known as the hen egg, which I believe we're going to see. I thought it was on the top there, but it's got like you open it up and there's a fucking yolk in that motherfucker.
Made out of what? Gold?
Yeah, look at just go back up to the top and let's look at these motherfuckers right here. So these are the most expensive. Go by the top. Go to the top. These are the most expensive Faberge eggs that there are, and they're pretty fucking crazy. Okay, so 11, the cradle with the garland's egg, made by Chief. All right, no, it's all right. Made by Chief Workmaster, which is a wonderful name for a person to have.
Henrik Wigstrom.
Henrik Wigstrom. This ornate egg was sold to a private collector for
Did you say that
point.
Chief Workmaster is a great name for a person to have?
I thought his name was Chief Workmaster. I was like, man, that's nominative determinism
I didn't
right
know
there.
Russia had Indians.
I'm such a fucking idiot.
That's his title.
Yeah, right.
His
it
name
is.
was Henrik
So this is
Wigstrom.
also known as the Love Trophies egg. It was commissioned by Tsar Nicholas II for his wife Alexandria upon the birth of their son. The surprise hidden, and this is the thing with these, there's a surprise hidden inside. It was a miniature of the imperial children, but this one is still missing. But look at that motherfucker right there.
That don't look like an egg. to
It
me.
doesn't look like an egg. That looks like a crock pot.
That's a crock pot. That's
That
a
isn't-
Faberge crock pot.
Yeah.
I didn't know that some of their eggs was less egg-like than others.
I agree. So now
Also, I wonder how Henrik got away with that. You'd think that old man Faberge would be like, that
This ain't no egg.
Make that more of an egg, Henrik.
right.
What do I pay you for, you dumb motherfucker?
I
Now
agree.
I'm demoting you to lesser workmaster.
Yeah, you make the eggs that don't hit.
Right.
Now we're getting into the Orson Welles section, the Rosebud egg, made by Michael Puttin under the supervision of Peter Carl Faberge. So at this point, I guess, this guy was like, you remember when we talked in that episode about who was that dude in Italy that hit real hard?
Leonardo da Vinci.
Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah, he
And
is.
how Leonardo da Vinci like actually didn't do all the stuff that was
Hold
credited
on.
to him.
I'm sorry. The actual answer to that question was Leonardo da Vinci? Because I was joking.
No, it was da Vinci. But I've told you about this,
I mean,
haven't
he's
I?
that dude in Italy that hit real hard.
It's Leonardo da
But
Vinci.
I was saying that as a gag because, like,
But why would? But like,
but it's also true.
well, right. I knew what to ask to get the answer that I wanted. He
Right.
was that dude in Italy that hit real hard.
Yeah.
So you remember that I was talking about how Leonardo da Vinci, like, he actually like basically was like Sherwin Williams. You don't remember this?
Yeah, like he had minions.
Yeah, so
Yeah, right.
it was like Thomas Kincaid, or like who's the dude that writes that writes the books, Clancy.
Yeah.
Like how it's not really them; it's
Right.
just a dude that he
Yeah.
has said he
Yeah.
represents me.
So Faberge was doing
So I think Faberge was doing this at this point. You've got the hen egg made by unknown workmaster. See, that's a wild name to have. The hen egg, I was
Don't
going to
live for
read
that
it, and
guy.
here we go. That known as the first hen egg or the jeweled hen egg was a gift from the Emperor Alexander III to his wife. Empress Maria Fedorovna.
Yep, there you go.
That is
Nailed it.
that's a tennis playing bitch, if I
Okay.
had to guess.
I don't think we have to read through all these. Let's see what we got here.
No, I don't think we do either. Let's
Fucking-
find one that hits.
The Order of St. George egg. What's that look like, Russ?
Yeah, go
now
back up
that's
to-
egg as hell right there.
That's a super egg right there. That's
People
a
that are only
very
listening,
Easter
I feel bad for you
egg.
because that's an egg ass egg right there.
Yeah, I would like to use this as a point to mention to you that if you only listen to this podcast, you should watch it because that is a very fancy egg right there. That kind of looks like the in Cinderella, the pumpkin type thing. Like it looks like a carriage.
I don't know. These eggs, they do hit. I got to admit, I like these eggs, but it's still wild to me. Like the other things we talked about, like this does fit with the designer clothes. It's like, how did these eggs become the thing? Because all these eggs that we're looking at are like they were commissioned.
Yeah, right.
You know,
and they were all commissioned by the Faberge person.
No, they were commissioned from the Faberge.
Yeah, from the Faberge person.
That's what I'm saying. People that hit were coming to this guy and being like, "I gotta have one of them eggs." And he was like, "You want an egg? I can make you an egg." He was like, "Chief Workmaster, get your ass in here. Got a new egg order." And, like, that's where all these eggs came from. But it was over the course of, like, 50 years. And he made 69 of these things total.
Well, I think the
I
reason
don't know. It's wild.
I think the reason they started hitting so hard, so, like, you know, after King Vladimir Victor Crumb, whatever the fucking the dude was, he made his wife one. She was super, it really hit for her. So she made Alexander appoint the Faberge feller a goldsmith by special appointment to the imperial crown, and then commissioned another egg the next year. And like basically every year on her birthday, this dude was to make a new egg. Okay. So he had like a standing gig.
And this is like for the hitting this lady in the whole realm.
In the whole realm. So like everybody else was like, right. So it's kind of like, it's honestly kind of like what you were saying about designer clothes, where it's like, if we can get one person who hits to say that this thing hits. Right. So like he's designing shit for the czar. And you know everybody else that, like, has some money, like all the Downton Abbey type people who, like, they're not in the royal family, but they got a lot of money. They're like, we have to have a fucking Faberge egg, too. Hey, and he can charge whatever he wants.
I know you're not going to remember this, but, Cho, I'd like for you in the future to talk about the Rothschilds.
I have it circled right here about how
I just mean the Rothschilds in general.
No, me too. And
I don't want to get even a little bit anti-Semitic.
Well,
I'm just fascinated by their whole thing.
Well, I've thought about
they're like the richest family
super
ever.
Fancy.
It's like them or the
Koch
Medicis,
brothers.
The Medicis, the Koch brothers.
I've thought. Well, I've actually thought about talking about the Rothschilds a lot, and every single time I've sort of punted the idea in my head because I was like, how do I do this without sounding with my accent like I'm going like, these guys don't hit because they're Jews?
We ain't got to get into the Jewish part. I mean, I guess that's a big part of their whole deal. But anyway, we don't have to focus on that. But this is a Rothschild egg right here, and it's got a clock in it. They're the only ones that got an egg that also has a clock. They had to get not only the main egg man, they had to call in a clock man to work with the egg man to make this egg clock.
Matter of fact,
that's fancy as fuck. You know who had the money to do that? Only the Rothschilds.
I know. They're actually only one of the. They're like one of the only three like independent families that was able to commission a Faberge
outside
egg.
Of royalty.
Like it was basically all the royals and then the Rothschild. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
They were just a family that hit on the same level as the czars. And
yes,
stuff.
that's what I'm saying. Back in that day, and they still. It is fucking wild. But like it was basically czars and the Duchess of Marlborough.
Mm-hmm.
And the Rothschild family and the Yusupovs or something like that. So like basically, unless you were royalty or royalty adjacent or the goddamn Rothschilds, you could not get a Faberge egg. So following the revolution and the nationalization of the Faberge workshop, so like that happened.
They seized the means of production.
They seized the means of production, right. In St. Petersburg by the
Something tells me them peasants couldn't make eggs the same way after that.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. By the Bolsheviks in 1918, the Faberge family left Russia.
I bet.
They were like, you know what, man?
This don't
hit. We must go somewhere where our hits are appreciated. Right? So the Faberge trademark has since been sold several times, and several companies have retailed egg-related merchandise using the Faberge name.
They're still doing it.
From 1998 to 2009, the Victor Mayer Jewelry Company produced limited edition Faberge eggs authored under a license, but the trademark is now owned by Faberge Egg Limited, which makes egg-themed jewelry.
Yeah,
And-
we saw it earlier. We looked at it.
yeah, right. And I'm actually glad that this happened, if only for the fact that, yeah, I do need to talk about the Rothschilds, because the only thing that I ever hear about the Rothschilds
Oh, no,
is,
I was wrong. The hittingest Faberge egg of all time is also a clock.
yeah, most
That's
of them, they open up.
$33 million egg right there. That one, the third imperial egg, and it's a
Over
clock
in-
on the inside.
Over in Russia, stuff opens up and there's other hits in it.
Yeah, I mean, that does hit. That's
Well, dude,
that's
they
real-
all hit.
Yeah, right. That's
They're all fucking rad, but
that's
it's just
a hell of a thing.
But it's just crazy. Like I didn't know that Faberge was the same as like Gucci. Like I thought Faberge was a print or something like that. But like, yeah, man, there's only 59 or whatever, 57 left in the fucking world. So if me and you can ever get our hands on a Faberge egg,
Yeah, then we're done with everything else forever.
I think that
Yeah,
would
I
hit.
agree. Yeah.
So that's
Well, we
all
need
I
to
know
do-
about Faberge
Well, tying it
eggs.
back to the opening topic, we need to find them 12 lost Faberge eggs. Yep. Nice. That all in my flow?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Enjoy clearing the airs. Like, subscribe, rate and review, all that shit. Somebody come over here and clean my floor up. Glad y'all here. We love you. Welcome to 2023, motherfuckers. We got plenty more in store. Say goodbye.
3, 4, 1, 2,
That was
3,
fun.
4. Royalty and rednecks are alike. They both like cutting and picking fights. Biscuits and baked beans where they don't belong. Sit on down with Corey and Trae and learn some fancy shit today. We'll laugh a little even when they're wrong. They'll take you to a magical place where if you call someone a cunt, nobody cares. They keep it debonair at putting on airs, putting on airs, putting on airs, putting on airs.
What's up, everybody? It's time to clear the airs. Look who it is. It's me. I'm back. I ain't been here in a minute for this part of the show. I've been deep in the hollers of rural Tennessee for the past 3 weeks, doing some holiday stuff, but also handling a bunch of bullshit with the house I grew up in, having to clean it out and whatnot. And that was not fun. I actually want to talk about that on a future episode of Putting on Airs, the difference I feel between those experiences. Like when a parent dies, you got a house to deal with, like for fancy people versus what the type of shit I was digging through, But I want to wait for an actual like episode, which, Corey, those will be a little different in the near future, huh? Because we got a pretty big and unexpected announcement to make right now. Corey, you want to tell them?
Yeah, man. So over the Christmas holidays, our producer Russ has decided to mosey on to different pastures. You probably, if you were watching this episode, you probably saw a little ticker in there. If you're watching it, not listening to it, where I was having to go back and put all the pictures in myself, and I didn't have the other stuff because there's been some communication errors. So you probably knew that Russ was already gone, but yeah, he left. It was very surprising to us. Obviously. We wish Russ well. We hope everything is okay. If I'm keeping it hunted, we really don't know. So, like I said, I hope it's good. But because of that, as Trae was saying, I'm going to be the de facto producer for at least a couple weeks until we bring a new producer on who we've already talked to. So everything's going to be fine. But those episodes, just by the virtue of how we're going to do it, they're going to be remote. They will be dolled up. They will look and sound perfect. But things will be a little bit different here in the Airstream for, well, I guess we could just say indefinitely.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. And so, but to be completely clear, y'all know we do these in batches. Typically, that's how we have done it. So we've got, I think, this episode and 3 or 4 more, something like that.
That's correct. That's right.
That we had done in the last batch. So producer Russ will live on in spirit and those episodes at least. And then when we get to the end of those, that's when things will change, as Cho said, indefinitely. We hope it's not too much of a, an inconvenience or an imposition for y'all. It just, like I said, sort of came up out of nowhere, and we're going to do the best we can. Because just for Corey coming out here and setting it all up to do them the way we've been doing them, like, we absolutely need another person here during that time, which is why we're going to have to do them remote till we figure something else out. But anyway, yeah. So
yeah, but I'd like to say this because I happen to know the producer that we're bringing in for the interim producer or whatever, I guess is what it were. And I'm going to tell you this. The episodes will be different, not worse. Do you know what I'm saying? They will be different, but that doesn't mean bad. We will still be bringing you all the definite 100% true facts,
always,
and great, always, and wonderful British anecdotes and all that good stuff. So it's going to be great.
Yeah, we'll hit. So this week was designer clothes and Faberge eggs. Y'all will be utterly shocked to hear that I have not gone back and listened to it, but Cho has, because he's
well, you couldn't
them
have.
together. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true.
You literally couldn't have.
We just got the files. Cho is the one putting it together. So, how'd we do? Any big mishaps, or we get wild? What happened?
No. The cold open was pretty wild because I'm still doing it the same. But yeah, no, I think we were good. We talked about Big Johnson shirts a lot. We talked about Dixie Outfitters a lot. And I'm super bummed to say, and again, if you're watching this episode, you already know this. There was a picture that you can tell them what happened. Actually, you described a Big Johnson shirt, and then I was like, "I'll be goddamned, I can't find it." And what was it that happened?
You mean like why couldn't you find it? Yeah, well, I don't know if Dixie Outfitters sold out of the Trump stylized as Tupac type thing. Look, like he wasn't in blackface on the shirt or nothing, but he had like Tupac tattoos and a six pack and shit. He looked like Travis Barker or whatever. Obviously a good quality item, and they've either sold out or just maybe it's like the McRib. They'll bring it back later. But either way, if you get on Big Johnson's website right now, or I'm sorry, Dixie Outfitters website right now, is a Dixie Outfitters shirt. If you get on their website right now, they've got a lot more, choice options on there. A lot of skulls, a lot of Punisher ripoffs, a lot of flags, a lot of things like that. They said there's one that says, "I support LGBT, liberty, Bible, guns, and Trump." So, some good stuff out there on the Dixie Outfitters website, but that particular item seems to have gone astray in the interim. So, yeah, sorry about that.
I did see that they're the official purveyor. Is that how I would say that?
Sure.
They're the official purveyor of the White Lives Matter shirt. So they're doing just a lot of unfortunate stuff over there at Dixie.
Yeah.
God. But
That's their whole deal.
Episode. It was a good episode. I like it much better when I haven't had to watch the whole thing all the way through a bunch to add pictures in, but it is a good episode.
So one thing I'd like to point out to people, just to sort of give some upsides to the changes that will be making in the near future, for however long they end up being the case, doing them remotely, as we've done a couple of times before, but that'll mean we can be more present. Up to date, like if something fancy happens and something happens with Harry and Meghan or whatever, some shit that people are talking about, you won't be seeing us from 6 months ago. You'll be seeing us from that very week. Also, because we did them in batches, me and Cho had to cram like Adderall whacked out college sophomores or whatever, because we had to have, over the course of a weekend, we had to have 12 full episodes worth of shit that we had to keep in our brains that whole time. Now, we can maybe go a little more in depth on certain topics, get our facts even more factual, which I feel like might seem impossible, but I think we can do it. So there'll be some upsides to it, I believe.
Yeah, I was going to say this is when we first, a lot of people don't know this, they've never seen the episodes, but we did it remote to start with. And that's how it worked, was like, I think we did 8 episodes and it took us like 8 weeks to do it. So when I was doing Professor CHO, I got used to, I was like, okay, all week I will binge this topic and then I'll talk about it. And then we decided we were going to do them in batches. And so what we did was we went out there and we just redid those episodes, which was easy. I already knew the information, but I'm pretty sure that the first episode where I didn't already have all the information and I had to cram. Would you like to guess what episode that was?
Anastasia, right?
It was Anastasia, and it was
No,
the
I
first time
remember
I got
that.
called out on shit, and I was like, I fucking knew this would happen.
Yeah. But, well, that's the big news here from Airstream Studios here in the POA world. So, yes, all the best to Russ. We thank him for everything he did so far. He was a tremendous help. And we'll miss him and his neck tattoos and stuff. But the show must go on. So, with that said, you got some emails for me?
I do. I've got airmail for you, Trae. This subject line, history suggestion / Fermi feedback. Please don't use my name. Okay. That's my favorite thing now. Hey, y'all, been listening to your show for a couple months now, and the new episodes have become a major upside to my week. Keep up the good work. Anyway, I have a history topic for Pro Show to cover whenever y'all get around to it. The topic, or rather person, is Timothy Dexter, or as I like to call him, the original white trash success story. I know a bit about him from another podcast I listen to and would like to hear y'all's take on this story. I'll have to look that up. The Fermi paradox has long been one of my favorite topics to bring up in conversation to completely mess with someone's entire perspective on how the universe works, which for me, being a lifelong nerd, is a lot of fun. Loved hearing y'all's take on it and looking forward to more segments like it. On a completely unrelated note, have y'all ever done or considered doing any shows in Montana? I know that there's people here that would find y'all hilarious. P.S. Squirrels, absolutely, positively, beyond of a shadow of a doubt, cannot love.
Yes. I didn't know how that sentence was going to end, and I was on the edge of my seat.
It was a perfect way to word it.
So, yeah. Thank you, anonymous Montanan. We've never done a show in Montana. It's one of the few states. It's one of the, like, 3 or 4 states in America that we haven't done a show in. But I would love to. I've always heard Montana's beautiful, and maybe we'll figure that out in the future. So, yeah, Timothy
It's
Dexter.
great. I lived there for a very brief period, and it was awesome.
I think maybe I've heard of this guy and looked him up before. I remember making a note about him when I found out about this guy for the first time. I think it's the same dude. I'm just briefly looking over his Wikipedia, but he was like a dude that got rich but seemed to be an idiot, I think, or something like that. Like he was real lucky and fell bass backwards into fortune and infamy, I think. So, yeah.
Kramer.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, you should make a note of that, Joe, and look him up in the future because I do think it would be a good topic.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll do that. Thank you for the recommendation. Sleepless in Montana. Subject line here, bubbly drink / fancy restaurant crossover. I meant to tell this story after hearing the snooty restaurant episode, but it's even more appropriate now that I've heard the bubbly ep. When my husband and I were in Italy several years ago, we went to a Michelin-starred restaurant near the Vatican. It was freezing cold in temperature and decor, so I knew it would be nothing like the other meals we'd had in the country. They took us to our table and handed us menus. Normal enough so far, but the menu wasn't a food menu. It was a water menu. One side had 5 to 6 sparkling waters listed. The other side was 5 to 6 flat waters. For real, y'all. Each water had like a 2-line description in the menu. Sorry. Each water had like a 2-line description in the menu telling us more about water than you could ever think to know. Earthiness, mineral flavor, large/small bubbles, where it came from, and other nonsense that I don't even remember. We should have taken a picture, but it was just so absurd we were in shock. Looking at my menu, I was also confused because there were no prices. Was the water free and included in whatever exorbitant price they were going to charge us for the food? But when I said something to my husband, he flipped his menu around to show me that he had prices. It was one of those...
What? Wait,
it was one of those it was one of those antiquated deals where the woman doesn't need to know the price, only the man.
Sure.
Oh,
well, what's she gonna do with prices?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I get it. Yada yada yada. We then paid our $500 bill and left. Sometimes pretension is nothing but smoke and mirrors. Love y'all. Amanda Montgomery / Mama Montaski. Mama Montaski. Okay, I dig it.
Yeah, that hits. So, yeah, and obviously I'm just joking about that. But, like, I think that, like, I don't know. I ain't been to Italy and France and stuff, but I feel like that type of shit like still be going down over there.
Oh,
with
for
more,
sure.
with more regularity
old
than people
country.
realize. Yeah, right. And also,
absolutely.
like,
And
these were like flavored waters, like LaCroix, fancy LaCroix type situations, and
the sparklings ones were, but the flat ones was just different types of minerals in it.
okay, don't hit.
Yeah, don't hit. No, it don't hit. Also, like, I get what they're doing. They're like, we're old school. Women don't need it. But, like, imagine making separate menus just to do that.
Yeah, you have to like,
like that's
you have
a
to, like,
choice.
Yeah, right. You have to put effort into that chauvinism.
Right. Like, it would be one thing if the chauvinism was like the man, they only handed the man the menu, like he orders.
Sure.
But like two separate, like, hey, can you get me one of those women menus? Like, that's crazy.
Well, what do you think? I wonder what they do if like a lesbian couple goes in there, just kick them out, or like pick the manliest, pick the manliest looking one, or like, what if it's just two gals, two young professional women, two Italian lawyers or something who work together and want to have a hit and meal? They're just like, well, they look at them and they're just like, well, this can't work. Like they're like, someone has to pay for this, right? Yeah, like someone's got to pay, and you're both women, so like, I don't understand is your dad gonna come pay us when you're done? Like, what's happening here?
Oh, spaghetti people, man.
Spaghetti people. What are you gonna do?
All right, we got one more here, and I saved it for last because the subject line alone is going to make you so happy, Trae. The subject line here is Black Queer Redneck.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. And luckily he is that. It's not someone complaining.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
One.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all never believe what I saw at the grocery store.
Okay. Black Queer Redneck. Sorry, David. We're having fun with you already. Hey, guys, my name is David, and I discovered you two on Medium Popcorn when you reviewed the classic wrestling movie Ready to Rumble. Tremendous, with our friend Brandon Collins.
Absolutely.
Only to discover that I have been a fan of Trae for a long time, as I enjoyed the Liberal Redneck YouTube videos. Anyway, as a self-proclaimed black emo queer redneck from South Carolina, currently in New York City, I fucking love you guys. I, much like Corey, and am an obsessive pro wrestling fan and nerd, and can and will use wrestling to relate and explain my understanding of subjects. And I also enjoy your more highbrow subjects. And might I add, your references to Southern hip-hop hits for me. Oh.
Love it. Yeah.
Love it.
Giving me the vipers.
Anyway, I wrote to tell you that you guys are, at least in my opinion, cool white boy at the cookout status, meaning that you guys don't act like stereotypical cartoons of blackness, but yeah, if a group of black people might see you in the streets and go, oh shit, I know that ain't Corey and Trae over there. Man, y'all get over there. Man, y'all get over here. We got Henny. Anyways, love you guys and keep doing what you do. Love, David. David, we love you.
Yeah, that is, I'm not joking, the highest of honors as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
The cook, I've been anointed cookout status a couple times on the internet and stuff for various videos I've done, and it's always just, warms my cold dead heart. So thank you, David.
I have too, but here's what bothers me about it is it's always a rhetorical invitation to the barbecue. I would really like directions and a date and, like I'll provide my own transportation, but I would really, really like to go to one of these because I hear, Trae, that the macaroni, to quote one of my black friends, ooh, ooh. So I'm trying to have that. Thank you, David. We love you, and tell all your other gay black redneck friends that they would love the show too. We love doing the show for you. We're sorry for all the hiccups, but it's going to be great. Please like, download, subscribe, tell all you friends, and if you're just listening, you ain't watching, go to watchpoa.com. It's a wonderful experience.
Yeah.